Today is Tuesday, the 15th of December, and we've already had a handover from the negotiators to the ministers. There have been two ministers, one from the north, one from the south, appointed for a number of the crunch issues, who are consulting with other ministers and coming up with some ideas of how to take things forward. There doesn't seem to have been much progress on any of them, but they are now in the hands of the ministers, and some of the text seems to have been changed quite drastically from those that were being negotiated earlier by the negotiators. They have very little time, just a few more days to finish their work. We are seeing right now a very interesting redistribution of power amongst the different countries in the world. When we started the Framework Convention nearly 20 years ago, it was a very dichotomous binary system. We had the rich and powerful countries in one group called the Annex I countries, and then everybody else in the other group, the non-Annex I countries. Over the last 20 years, the world has changed. We now have three groups. We have the rich still in the Annex I, but we have a new grouping which are not rich, but they're powerful, and they include China, India, and to some extent Brazil and South Africa. These countries have different interests from those that are the poor and the vulnerable, and neither the rich nor the powerful have the interests of the poor and vulnerable at heart. So from the perspective of the poor and vulnerable countries, they are in very great danger of being bypassed by the rich and the powerful, which are now two different groups, who are going to look after their own interests and not those of the poor countries. There are three groups of vulnerable countries: the small island states, the African countries, and the least developed countries. The strategy from both the two groups, the rich and the powerful, is to buy off, or in some cases threaten and pressure them. That process has already begun. This afternoon, there was a statement from Prime Minister Zenawi with Prime Minister President Sarkozy of France, announcing an entente that basically promised Africa a lot of money, which brought Africa along with the Annex I position. Whether this will hold or not remains to be seen, but the maneuvering is already going on.